Hola. Hope you're well. I'm going to delve right into it. It is time for my 25. I chose 25 for no good reason. I just felt that there were a lot of good albums that came out this year. My roughly favorite 25 albums, favorite 25 albums of the year. I chose 25 because it seemed like a nice round number. I was going to do 20, but then I thought, well, I have to leave out a couple, and I don't know that I want to leave out a couple. So I'm just doing 25. I can make my own rules here. And that's all there is to it. I'm gonna delve right into it. I'm wearing my DHS shirt today, as you can see. Dimensional holophonic sound. I don't know. I think I've worn this shirt before in videos. I designed this shirt myself. I mean, not the image. I basically just put it on a shirt. But I have a couple of DHS shirts because I love Ben Stokes and I want to have his shirts. And this shirt is worth having because when I wear it in public, people kind of look at it and I think they assume maybe that I'm a devil worshiper or something, which I love. I love the fact that I could actually confuse people into thinking that I worship Satan. And I'm an atheist, and most people think that atheism is just as bad as worshiping Satan anyway. So good. I take that as a badge of honor. And there you go. Wow, this shirt makes me look really fat too. Look at this. It's really baggy, I will say that. There we go. See, that's more of what my figure really looks like. Maybe I should just wear it like this, because that's a good look, right? 20 more pounds, just like that. Anyway, aren't you glad you subscribed to my channel? You get to sit through shit like this. Goddamn son of a bitch. I clicked on his link to look at the 25 best albums and shit. And what is this shit? Holding up his shirt, Satan worshiping bastard? That's what you get. So let me begin. I broke this into two videos though, because I don't want to be doing this video for very long. My videos have been creeping past the 30-minute mark, and I don't want to do that. So I want to keep it under 30 minutes, so I decided to chop it into two. I'm going to do my top 10 albums of the year tomorrow, or in a second video. I'm going to post it tomorrow. I'm probably going to do it today, but then I'll post it tomorrow. And today I'm going to focus on albums 11 through 25. So there it is. That's my scheme. That is my plan. I hope you're on board. Let's do this shit. Now, this first one, I'm holding this up as it's an honorable mention. It's Woodley Research Facility. This is Andy Weatherall with Nina Walsh. I just picked this up last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago. I don't love the album. I've only listened to it once, but because it's Andy Weatherall and I love him, I didn't want to mention it. I don't know that I'd put this in my top 25. It's on the precipice of being that. But because it is Weatherall and I love him so, I wanted to mention this. He's been dead for almost 4 years, but this came out. I guess this was what he was working on when he died. This isn't my favorite. I have to say I was not blown over by this. Honestly, frankly, it sounds like an unfinished album. It's just a lot of that monotonous new disco thing he was doing the last decade of his life, and quite honestly, I wasn't into that. I kept patiently waiting for him to go to his next phase, because that's what he always did. I don't love this album. I've only listened to it once though, so I wanted to be fair and mention that, but I wanted to show this because I love Andy Weatherall. I always will. He's one of my all-time heroes. And yeah, 3.5, almost 4 years after his death. I was surprised to see this pop up. I picked this up at Juno a couple weeks ago. I was doing my daily rounds of Juno records, and there it was. The back, let's see, Phonox Nights. There's some storytelling here. You can see a lot of stuff being told. But it's a double album. It's 9 tracks. There's some labels for you. I'm not going to get super deep into showing you labels today. I'm going to try to power through this video as much as I can. I mean, I'm not just going to show things and then go to the next thing. I want to say at least a couple of things of worth if I can. But yeah, this was, as far as I know, this might be the last, album that we ever see from Andy Weatherall. I didn't even know it was coming, and he's been dead for almost 4 years now. So not my favorite release. In fact, not much from this moniker really caught my attention. He released some other stuff under Woodley Research Facility, and none of it really ever captured my imagination too much. It wasn't bad, but not my favorite. Anyway, I wanted to show that just because I love Andy Weatherall and I want to respect him. Now, this is what I had at my number 25 spot, and this was a surprise to me. I wasn't really aware of this artist, and she put out an album this year, and I really enjoyed it. It caught me by surprise. This is Charlene Darling, and I forget the name of this album. Laporte. I don't know how to say. Listen, I'm not going to try to pronounce things. If I mispronounce things, get over it. Okay? Here in America, words, like they say in Pulp Fiction, here in America, words don't mean shit. So I pronounce things to the best of my ability. If you're in another country and I mispronounce something, I don't care. Keep it to yourself. Laporte, Charlene Darling. I really like this album. It caught me by surprise. It is a single album, and it just, I don't know, it's hard to describe what it is. It's pop music really at its core, but it has influences of electronic and jazz and lounge and folk, and it's just kind of a big mishmash of styles that works. I really like her voice. I like the way she presents it, and I like it. And I like her. And you get kind of a cool inner sleeve here, as you can see. They put some time and effort into this. Here she is, hard at work. You get the lyrics. Most of this is in French, so I don't know what the fuck she's saying, and actually I kind of like that. Sometimes I feel like if I understood what singers were saying more often, I wouldn't like it. A lot of lyrics just turn me off. I like music that's mysterious like that, where I don't have to necessarily think about what they're actually saying. Sometimes I just want to hear the voice as another added instrument, and that's what this is to me. But this is my number 25 choice. I've listened to this several times this year, and I really enjoy it. It's grown on me. And I wanted to bring this to people's attention if you haven't heard of this artist. Maybe you have, and I'm the ignorant one, but I never have. And I really appreciate it. It was new, it was interesting, and in a in a journalistic world of really awful choices for top albums of the year, when people love pop music and talk about how great pop music has been this year, I mean, I don't hear a lot of great pop music, but I would put this in that category. Charlene Darling. There you go. Speaking of which, I'm going to veer off the beaten path here. Every year, I can't help myself, but I look at somebody out here. I look at Pitchfork's best albums of the year, and I looked at it this year right before I did this video. I mean, just earlier today, and I have to admit, I got a really solid, hearty chuckle out of it, as I do every year. I highly recommend, if you're looking for a good laugh, go look at Pitchfork's albums of the year. It's a fucking riot. How anybody reads Pitchfork seriously, I have no idea. How do people do it? Does anybody in my audience read Pitchfork regularly? How do you do it? They're awful. They they need to rename their best albums of the year list. They need to rename it to the best popular albums that we've actually heard this year. It's hilarious looking at their choices. They're fucking awful. They're terrible. They'll sprinkle in a legitimately good record there now and again to hold their credibility a little bit, but then they'll just pepper it with all this shit. It's awful, some of this music they put on there. I mean, Lana Del Rey in your top 10? Are we being serious now? Lana Del Rey, really? What do we got? Fucking high schoolers running Pitchfork now? Lana Del Rey. Go check it out if you really want to laugh. It's so funny too. Like Pitchfork is so woke now. They're just such a pathetically politically correct woke piece of journalistic nightmare that it's a joke. It's hilarious. Like, well, we've got to put this in there or we'll seem racist, and we got to put this in there or we'll seem misogynist, and we need to put this. I mean, it's ridiculous. You could see their checklist being checked off from top to bottom. It's pathetic. They skipped over all the best albums. I doubt they've even actually stopped to listen to them. Fuck off, Pitchfork. You suck. Okay, back to my list. Number 24. This is a cool record. VHS Head. This, I don't know, I really don't know shit about this artist. I have no clue who it is. I don't really care. I'm sure you'll find that in the credits somewhere. You'll find a name. The only name that I paid attention to was Bola, mastered by Bola, one of my favorite artists, electronic artists, Bola Soup. You want a really great electronic album, go listen to Bola Soup. Fantastic record on Scam, which is what this record is on. VHS Head, and I forget the name of this album. This is Focus, Phocus. This is just some whacked out, quirky as hell electronic music. And it's on Scam. That should tell you all you need to know. I saw this come out on Scam this year, and I was like, ooh, I need to hear this. And I really enjoy this record. It's very good. Kind of reminds me of some old school vibes when it comes to 90s electronic music. It's kind of aggressive. It's very poppy and upbeat, but it's also just bizarre. Some strange stuff goes on here. I wouldn't be able to really, I wouldn't comfortably categorize this music. It's all over the place. It's very original, I think, and definitely worth your attention. I have this at my number 24 spot, VHS Head Focus on Scam. You know Scam, they put out Boards of Canada. I think you've probably heard of them, right? Scam. They put out Autechre stuff and Gescom, however you want to say that. It's rare when Scam puts something out, but when they do, it's usually a very exceedingly high quality. So there is that. I'm going to lose track of my numbering system here too, I think, at some point. This is number 23. This is Lindstrom. And quite frankly, I don't even remember the name of this album. Let me pull the labels out. I don't memorize things like album titles all the time, especially with new albums. Everyone Else is a Stranger. That is the name of this album. I have listened to this album a number of times this year, and I really enjoy it. Lindstrom is one of those guys that you can just depend on year in and year out. He's got a slightly retro disco type vibe, but he also throws some modern techno and house and ambient vibes in there. He's just very consistent. And I very much like this record he released this year. This is on Small Town. Oh, what is it? Small Town. It's Prince Thomas's label. Was it Small Town Super Sound? Is that what it's called? Something like that. This year's Lindstrom effort. Really enjoy this. Check this out. Again, there's the label. Not a very exciting inner sleeve, but sometimes that happens. Lindstrom, you can always count on this guy. He delivers every time. Really enjoy this album. Listen to it quite a bit. All right, so I'm at number 22 now, right? 22? Yes. This is a band that divides people, and I understand why. This is Yo La Tengo. And I put this at my 22 spot. I don't remember the name of this album either. This Stupid World. Really enjoy this record. I love Yo La Tengo. I know people that just don't like them. It's an acquired taste. It's one of those bands that it's definitely an acquired taste. I love Yo La Tengo. I generally get very excited about whatever these guys do. And this Stupid World's really cool. This is very different from what they normally do. It's more or less all instrumental, very psychedelic, rockish. Really enjoy it. These guys are fantastic musicians and great songwriters, but sometimes they veer off the beaten path and get more experimental, and this is one of those instances, and I think it serves them very well. Love this record. Listened to this many times this year. You get a couple of very nice, lush inner sleeves with this. So the presentation's nice. It's another thing about their vinyl releases. They seem to understand that people like buying records. And their releases are always aesthetically pleasing. In fact, I think this one's on blue wax. Pretty sure it came out on black as well. And this is a double album. Yo La Tengo, This Stupid World. And it is indeed very stupid. It can be very beautiful too, and it can be very stupid. Yo La Tengo, check this out. Okay, this record kind of caught me by surprise. Yeah, this is a good one. This is on Mule Music. Sorry about the glare there. You know, I still have the shrink wrap on this thing, but this is Wallace. Wallace, red, yellow, black. I think red, yellow, black. Yeah, red, yellow, black is the name of this album. This is on the Japanese label M-Ziq, and this is just some finely crafted deep house jams, some ambient stuff mixed in there. If it's on M-Ziq, it's worth it. You just automatically know it's worth your time and money. Wallace, red, yellow, black. There it is. If you like deep house music, that's got that soul to it. It's got that deep rhythm. It's not cheesy, doesn't have any ounce of cheese whatsoever. This is your jam. You want to check this out. Love this record. It's a double album, actually. There's some labels for you and some boring inner sleeves. Wallace. Highly recommend this. This is number 21 for me this year. This record just snuck up on me. I usually buy everything on M-Ziq. I don't hesitate to buy anything on this label here. And also, let's take a look at these credits. Mastered by, there you see it right there, the man, Kuniyuki Takahashi. Not only does this guy put out his own stuff and remix all kinds of different artists, he masters other artists. I mean, this guy's just super busy all the time. You can hear his influence on everything he does. I'm sure that's one of the reasons why I love this. It's just got that deep, it does have a Kuniyuki sound to it. So I wanted to mention him. I always want to mention him. A true master at what he does. This is an excellent album, Wallace. Check this out, red, yellow, black. All right, let's dive into the top 20, shall we? This is an album that I already talked about earlier this year. This is Lawrence Guy, and I forget the title of this album. It's really long-winded. Living Like There's No Tomorrow, but Killing Yourself in the Process. I already talked about this year. I'm not going to talk about this much more, but I love Lawrence Guy. I don't like this anywhere near as much as I like his first album, but this is a great album. It's a double pack. This is on clear wax, getting your inner sleeves. I'm not going to pull the records out. Already done that. You can go backwards and look at my past videos for this. But this is an excellent album. It's grown on me a little bit. It's not a straight up house record per se. I think he gets a little too distracted with the featurings. You know those albums, it's like it gives you the title featuring this person, featuring that person, featuring this person, featuring that person. I mean, it's so many featurings on here that it makes me dizzy. And so I think it loses focus when you do that for albums. It's a hip hop thing, and he kind of veers into that territory a little bit on this album, and that's not really my thing, so I don't love this album as much as I thought I would. He's still an excellent producer. I still love what he does. Some of the tracks on here are just achingly beautiful, but then when you've got 6 or 7 or 8 other artists all crooning and singing over the top of your music on one album, it just gets too scattered for me. So maybe this could have been higher if he had drowned all that shit out. Too many featurings. You can have too many featurings on one album, but I still love this album. Lawrence Guy. He's a man to be celebrated, and that's a great album. This is another one that I held up earlier this year. I'm not going to talk about this at great length, but this is number 19 for me. I think we're at 19. I've lost count, but this is Schneider TM. I held this up back last summer when I first got it. In fact, I think in the thumbnail image, I think I'm holding up this image because I love this cover. It's a gatefold cover. I'm not going to break it out of here, but Schneider TM's album this year. This is really excellent stuff. Love this. Listened to this a number of times this year. It's very different for him. This is just some very, very long, extended, psychedelic, tweaked out, bizarre, scary, experimental tracks. Not something that he normally does that we know him for. And that's why I like it. It kind of came out of nowhere and surprised me. This is an excellent album. I highly recommend this. Schneider TM, check that out. Now I think we're at 18 now, right? God, I know I'm miscounting these, but This would be my number 18 release. Again, don't chastise me for mispronouncing people's names. I don't care. I don't want to hear about it. Get over yourself, okay? If you're that worried about your life and you have to have your name pronounced absolutely precisely, then you need to get a life. You take yourself way too seriously. There's like 10 billion of us on the planet. Nobody cares how to pronounce your name. Having said that, this is Philip Preeb. Philip Preeb. Could be Preeby. I don't care. What I do care about is how good this album is. Movements in an empty department store. Excellent record, man. This is something that totally caught me by surprise. I have no clue who this is. Never heard of him before. Love this record. Just some extremely deep, awesome techno house music going on here. I should say house, more house than techno. This is fantastic stuff. This caught me totally by surprise. I was doing one of my Juno rounds recently, and this popped up in their new release list, and I bought it, and I was like, man, this is some good shit. I highly recommend this if you like dance music at all. This takes it up a notch. Very deep, soulful stuff. Philip Preeb. Awesome, awesome record. I love those records that just kind of take you by surprise. You're not prepared for it. They come out of nowhere. For me, came out of nowhere for me. Love this. Check that out. Here's another one that totally came out of nowhere for me, personally. This is number 17, I think, that we're at now. Formant Value. Sorry, I almost said format. The name of the album is Nucleo Profondo. This is killer stuff here. Love this. I think these are Italian dudes. So just like the record I just showed, some super deep dub-inspired techno and house music going on here, and some ambience as well. All that stuff all mixed together. Trust me, people, this is a record that's going to surprise you in all the best ways. I highly recommend picking this up. I have listened to this a number of times this year, and I have not gotten sick of it. In fact, it's just grown on me. Excellent record, man. Love these records that just seemingly come out of nowhere. Never heard of these guys before. I picked it up. Damn. Awesome stuff. I'll show the labels. You just get some boring inner sleeves there. Formant Value. I believe we're at number 16 right now. I'm sure I've screwed that up. I'm sure we're on actually number 11 or something, but oh well, I'm doing my best. Number 16. Beautiful record here. Okay, 15. This is volume 2 of Quiet Places. This is on A Strangely Isolated Place. This is a label run by a dude that's actually here in my town. I interviewed him actually for Discogs. I'm sure they probably took that off. Discogs removed all of their old blog content, so you probably can't read it now. But I interviewed this guy. He lives in my town. I don't know if he's still here, but he runs a label called A Strangely Isolated Place, which is based off of a Ulrich Schnaus song. Or album. Is that the album? Yeah, the album. He puts out really quality ambient music, really. And this Quiet Places, I love this record. This is volume 2. The first record was a double album of 4 really long, extended ambient tracks. And this is the same thing. You get 2 records, 4 tracks of long, extended ambient experimental music. And this is Charlie May. You might know that name from a 90s group called Spooky. I've thought about doing a Spooky video because I think they are one of the most underrated electronic groups in history. Spooky. Go check out Spooky from the 90s. They were on William Orbit's Gorilla label for a while, and then they started their own label called Generic, and they put out one of the best electronic albums I've ever heard called Found Sound. Maybe I'll do a video on that. You should know who Spooky is. Definitely know who Spooky is, but Charlie May from Spooky, this is him. And somebody else, I forget. Dennis White and Dave Gardner. I don't know who that is. I don't know who those 2 guys are. I know who Charlie May is. And he is part of this. Great record, man. Really love this stuff that they do. This is a gatefold sleeve. I'll hold this up. if maybe. I always get these nice. The presentation's always very well done. They do put the records in these poly inners, which is nice. I think this is on a funky colored. Yeah, you get green here. I don't know if the other one's a different color, but they always press their records on different colored wax. I don't know if they're both green or not. I'm gonna look while you guys patiently wait. Well, you guys twiddle your thumbs and wonder when I'm going to be done screwing around. Oh, there's other stuff in here. That's cool. I didn't even notice this. Check that out. There's a download code in here too, just in case. Yep, they're both green. Kind of like a dark green tint going on there. Anyway, excellent record. Quiet Places. Check this out, and check out Spooky. Okay. Found Sound, and then their first album was called Gargantuan, a classic in the progressive house world, and just house music in general. I think Gargantuan is one of the best dance records ever. And Found Sound is a different sound. Check this out. Now, where are we? I'm going to look at what I have left here. I've lost count. You guys are like, you're at number 13, all right? But I don't know. Let's see. 1, 12. Are we at 15 now? I don't know. I'm counting 15. Maybe that was 15. Maybe I have one more than I thought, but who cares? I'm going to say this is 15. I have 2 15s this year. It's very possible. This is the Ageless Wonder, Mike Paradinas, M-Ziq. Name of the album is 1977. I love Mike Paradinas. I'm sure you guys know who he is. This dude right here. An amazing producer, right up there with Aphex Twin. He's recorded with Aphex Twin before. Expert Knob Twiddlers. If you don't know that album, go check that out. But he's been pumping out stuff lately. And this is a beautiful record. I've listened to this many times this year. Oh, that's right. I got a sticker from when I ordered this online. They threw a sticker in there. This is the label. I think this is the Spanish label this came out on. Brilliant record. Just, this guy. It's the only way to describe Mike Paradinas' music. He records music that only sounds like him. To call it quirky, experimental, ambient electronic music would be doing it a disservice, but if you have to cram it into a box, it exists somewhere close to that world. I look at it as very highly original electronic music that's very warm with a lot of soul. He's excellent at that, and this is a fantastic record. I think these, if I remember correctly, I think these are on colored wax too. Yeah, this one's on like a turquoise. I don't know how many different colors there were. I ordered this from I think their Bandcamp. So you'll find different variations when you order stuff from people's Bandcamps, as you probably know. Here's the other record. Kind of like a orangish red vibe going on here. But it's M-Ziq. In my opinion, you just buy everything he does. I don't think about it. I just pick it up. And this is the best thing he's done in a long time. I think he's really been crushing it as of late in the last 10 years or so when he really started making a lot more music again. I am extremely excited. I just pulled this sticker off, so now I got to put this back in here. But excellent stuff, 1977. Check this out, man. Beautiful record. Okay. We're at 14, right? 14? Yes. This is a more common one. In fact, I saw this on the I forgot their name already. Pitchfork. I found this on Pitchfork's website. And they were right to put this in here. This is what they do. They put a bunch of shit releases on there that they feel like they have to put on there. And then they throw in a legitimate good record like this to make themselves look cool and hip. But this is a legitimately good album. Fever Ray, Radical Romantics. You know this woman. She's in The Knife. Everything she does is just super awesome. She's on a different planet. She's not interested in giving you things that you expect. Like Steve Jobs said, don't give people what they want, give people what they don't know they want. And that's what this woman does. She's kind of like I hate to compare her to Bjork, but I'm gonna do that. When I listen to her and I see her presentation, she kind of reminds me a little bit of early or even present Bjork, and that's a good thing. I love Bjork. You know, she dabbles in electronics. Her music is super original. She's got a super original presentation. I love this woman, man. Love her. Everything she does. I like the knife too, but I like Fever Ray stuff better, quite personally. I think she's got a singular vision that we should celebrate. It's rare that we get truly original artists like Fever Ray. Here is the gatefold, which I love. Check out that look. I mean, come on. How can you not love that? That's frame worthy right there. Straighten that out and put it in a frame. You get a nice inner sleeve to go with. This is a really nice package, man. Nice glossy inner sleeve. I don't think this is on black wax. I don't know if it came out on color, like different color than black. Did it? Someone else can tell me. I have no clue. Really nice presentation here. I really like this. And it came with a poster as well, which I thought was funny. It kind of reminds me of Office Space. Have you ever seen the movie Office Space where they take the printer out in the woods and they beat it, Godfather style, Goodfellas style? Kind of reminds me of that a little bit. And then you get the lyrics on the other side. So she definitely thinks about her presentation, and that is one of the reasons I love Fever Ray, and I love this record. Highly recommend you pick this up if you have not already. I think most people probably heard this. You know, if you like electronic experimental pop music, it would surprise me that people have not, if people had said they hadn't checked this out. But if you haven't checked it out, Fever Ray. Great record. Definitely one of my favorites of the year. Okay, let's see. How many more do I have left? All right, this is number 13. It's got to be number 13. Love this record. I've listened to this quite a bit. This is probably another obvious choice, Roisin Murphy. And she signed it. Check that out. There were different iterations of this. Like one was on, I think, purple vinyl, and one was on orange vinyl. And then you could get one on plain old black vinyl with her signature. I thought, I'm doing this. I want it on black anyway, and it's kind of cool that she signed it. You got to love the personalization. You got to love that. Look at that. And look at this cover. I mean, come on. And thankfully, the music is badass. Her last, oh, by the way, this is called Hit Parade, obviously. The album that came out before this was amazing. It was produced by Peris, and we know him from Sweet Exorcist and The All-Seeing Eye. That's a video I've thought about doing many times. I don't think anybody would watch it, but I think the All-Seeing Eye, Pickled Eggs and Sherbet album is one of the most underrated electronic albums of all time. How people haven't heard this album, I don't understand, but that's a different video. He produced the last album, then we have DJ Coz on this one. She's got good taste in music, this woman. And she brings in some hot producers to do her shit. And this is a fantastic record. Love this album. There are some amazing cuts on here. I think, what are my favorites on here? Maybe Two Ways. You Knew, actually. No, You Knew. You Knew. One of the best songs of the year. Seriously. Fantastic record. And again, her signature. You gotta love that little touch. So, oh yeah, I've got the hype sticker. I always keep everything together. There you go. We've got that. Let me show the inside. Look at this. Again, kind of. I love the way she presents herself. Again, it's kind of. It reminds me a little bit of Bjork, I guess. These bizarre, twisted, completely insane images. Really funny, disturbing all at the same time. Love that stuff. And You get a booklet as well. I'm not going to show the records. They're just plain black. There's nothing to see there. But you get a little booklet. Again, presentation, man. It counts. Roisin Murphy, she thinks about these things, you know. She wants to give the buyer as much as possible. So you get a nice booklet. You get, I don't think the inner sleeves are printed. I think they're just generic. Let me see here. Crack those open. Oh, no, see, I'm wrong. I forgot about that. You get some more fantastic images. Look at this. Oh yeah, I forgot about these. I mean, this is why people buy records, y'all. Every blue moon, someone will stumble onto my channel and they'll be like, "Oh, you buying records when you can just download it? You fucking idiot." This is why I do that. This is why people buy records, okay? We enjoy art. And this latest Murphy album absolutely is art. Look at this. This is fantastic stuff. Love it, love it, love it. And let's see here. Let me pull out the other one since I'm showing all this. This is record 1. That's pretty awesome. I don't care if I'm supposed to laugh or not. I think this shit's funny. This one's not as funny. This is interesting. I think this one's really funny. This one might be my favorite, actually. I mean, right here, automatically, probably would make it my favorite, but the look on her face just kind of sells it. Anyway, I love the thought that she puts into these releases. It's really fun, and the fact that the music is absolutely badass doesn't hurt either, man. This is an excellent record. I don't know if it's better or worse than the last album. I don't know. I don't want to compare them. I think they're both excellent, and they both have excellent tunes. I like Parrot a lot, so I haven't listened to this one as much as the last album, but that one's been out longer. So maybe I'll eventually catch up to that album that came out before this and listen to this one just as much. But this absolutely is worth your time and efforts. Number 13, Roisin Murphy, I think. I don't know. I've lost count. Number 12. Dot Allison. Consciousology, right? Consciousology. I just love this woman. She could do anything and I would love it. I've bought everything she's done since she was in One Dove. I love this woman's voice. I love everything about her. Just, she could sing me to sleep every single night and I would be completely happy. I would die a happy man. I have been in love with this woman for going on 30 years now. Love this record. I've listened to this a lot this year. I just love her approach to music and how she thinks about her style and her delivery and the way she records and the way she writes. I just love Dot Allison. Get a nice gatefold sleeve. This is on Sonic Cathedral Records. Get the orange wax. I've talked about this already this year. I'll show it again because I do love this record a lot. And yeah, this is a beautiful album. You should check it out. If you like records that are kind of in that shoegaze, dream pop world, call it whatever you want, you should check this out. And if you like that stuff, you've checked this out already anyway. You should get this. Dot Allison. Get everything that she's ever done. Going back to One Dove. Get the One Dove stuff too. Start there. And then pick up all of her solo stuff because it's always worth it. And to end off this video, I'm going to show a number of albums because I love this guy and he released 4 albums this year. 4. This guy is prolific and he's always good. I always talk about that on my channel. It's one thing to be prolific, but it's another thing to be prolific and consistently good. And I am talking about none other than Greg Foat. I've talked about a few of these already this year, and I'm going to talk about them again. I'm putting all 4 of these records at my number 11 spot because I love this man. And 4 albums has he released this year. He's recorded with other people. As you can see here, he usually records with others. But that doesn't bemoan the fact that he is at the center of all of these. And I think I talked about this album earlier this year. I'm pretty sure. This is just fantastic stuff. Greg Foat, if you like jazz and ambient and dance rhythms and experimental stuff and lounge music all bundled into one tight little package, it just doesn't get any better than this. Again, he some albums are more dancey than others. This year, a lot of his stuff has been very jazz focused, which is fine with me. I love jazz music. Jazz is one of those specialties though that I'm very picky about. It's like drum and bass, it's like rock and roll. It's like, yeah, there's certain genres of music that I'm very, very picky about. Punk. It needs to be really, really top shelf level good for me to be interested in it. And this dude always delivers. There's one of his albums. This is a beautiful record. Dolphin, Greg Foe, and Gigi Mason. Yes. I showed this earlier this year. This is on clear vinyl. I'm not going to pull it out of here again. You've seen this already, but beautiful record. Arguably my favorite Greg Foe related record this year. Ah, beautiful stuff. This is a Finnish release. This is a little more along the lines of his jazz type stuff. Not some, I mean, it's got moments of ambience on it, but this is excellent stuff. Very rhythmic jazz music you got here. This is a single album, 7 tracks. And this, yeah, I think this only came out in Finland. And I don't even remember where I got this. I probably bought this up at Discogs. I don't remember where. But this is good stuff. And then his most recent album, which is just fantastic, and it's got a fantastic cover as well, Interstellar Fantasy. And he did this one with Ayo Salawu. I've no idea. I'm sure somebody watching this video will know. I have no clue who this is. Doesn't matter. This is a beautiful record. I love the old school retro vibes you get on the back cover and even the front cover. Check out this cover. I love covers like this. Look at the font. This is the most sound like vintage 70s soundtracky vibe on it, even 60s vibe. Lots of old vintage synthesizer work going on here. Almost library Q-ish music. If you like that kind of vibe, you should check this out, man. This is a phenomenal record. Get the retro vibes on the labels too. Get a boring inner sleeve, but whatever. It's all right. Greg Foat. Check this guy out. He is consistently awesome. Never puts out anything bad, and he puts out a lot of stuff. That's saying something. Greg Foat. Greg, you are a stud, and I love you, and keep it up, man. Please keep it up. For all of our sakes, keep it up. So there are my choices, my best albums of the year between number 11 and 25. Greg Foat, number 11. I'm going to see if I counted right because I'm dense and I need this kind of help. Dot Allison, number 12, Consciousology. Number 13, Roisin Murphy, brilliant album. Number 14, Fever Ray. Number 15, M-Ziq. Beautiful record here. Love him. Mike Paradinas never gets old. 16, Quiet Places. Yeah, as I hold these up, I'm pretty sure I screwed up the order. 17, Formant Value. Awesome stuff. 18, Philip Preeb. Again, I don't want to hear it if I'm mispronouncing his name. Schneider TM. I already talked about this. Check this out. Talk about an album that just takes you to a different place. It's just one of those albums. Lawrence Guy. Always pick up whatever he does. Wallace. Now that I hold this up, I feel like I maybe have placed this too low. I should have put it up 5 or 6 spots. I love this record. It's so good. Kuniyuki Takahashi doing the mastering on that. Yola Tango. This stupid world. Stupid world. Lindstrom. VHS Head. This is really cool. And lastly, Charlene Darling. And I also want to, another shout out to the late Andy Weatherall. This album didn't grab me right away. Maybe it will grab me later. I don't know. There are my 11 through 25 selections. Tomorrow, I will post a video of my top 10 releases of the year. Maybe it will be 11 albums. Maybe it will be 12. Maybe it will be 9. I obviously can't do simple arithmetic, and you'll just have to accept that. It's one of the things that it's one of the crosses you have to bear when you watch me and my channel. But having said that, thank you for watching me and my channel, and I will talk to you soon. Goodbye.